never likes me to tell him who too much about our guest speaker. So our healer medium teacher, Reverend Lewis Gates. There you go.
What I wanted to speak about today is back in the day when spiritualism was actually being formed, there was another religion being formed at that point, and it was New Thought, which actually turned into Christian Sciences, that actually turned into Unity, and now they're the Center for Spiritual Living. But it was the New Thought, actually brought on by Holmes. So Ernest Holmes actually wrote the book on New Thought. But as spiritualists, we've always known that our thoughts are things. They are the vibration that we put out into the universe. It's where we propel ourselves. It's what we believe. It's what spirit reads around us. When we say something, not only we hear it, the people around us hear it, but also our band of spirits hear it. They actually understand what we're trying to say. We might not like what they do when they bring us what we want, but we've been telling them that's what we want, it's what we need, it's what we would like to have. And spirit in turn tries to manifest it within our lives. When I first came out here many years ago, there was Harry Fogel, Reverend Harry Fogel, a lot of the older mediums were here. And the first thing they caught me in the street says, you know, thoughts are things. Don't bring your thoughts in here. I was okay. So every time they'd walk around, you should see these older mediums going, they'd be thinking something, then they'd go, cancel, 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 cancel. I didn't walk around and go, cancel, cancel, cancel. But we had that thought of that if we just said cancel, it was okay. We had an evil thought. So, but it's our vibration in our lives. It's what we propel in our lives. It's when we were talking today and Don was answering questions about where we go, what the levels of the spirit world are. It's where we propel ourselves. It's what we believe at the end of our lives. It's what we truly believe as what we're going to see when we enter the spirit world. If we believe we've been bad and we're not going to blah, 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 we're going to end up in a place in the spirit world that's probably not majorly of our liking, but it's where we propelled ourselves. Until our angels or our guides and our protectors are within our vibration trying to help us. No one's actually left alone on the other side. It is spirit moving up very close to you. They try to minister to you. They work with you to maneuver you to a higher level, a higher sense of consciousness. We should all try in our lives the 3 E's in our lives: education, enlightenment, and encouragement. We should try to teach ourselves how we work with spirit, how we connect to the higher sense of consciousness. How do we do it? Not how somebody else in the room does it. They're not on the same path we are. It's how we propel energy within our lives. That is the education through going to Lyceum, going to church services, going to classes, reading books, going through situations that you actually put something in here. All of you have something in here. All of you do. So the question is what you put in here. Does it enlighten you? Does it bring you to a higher level? Also, does it encourage you? Does it bring you to a level in your life that you're very encouraged about your being, your soul? Are you encouraged about what you're putting into your system? And that comes down to the people, the events, the situations you're putting into your life. If you're not happy with the people in your life, then try to change them. Remove some of them. Doesn't mean you get to bury bodies or something somewhere where somebody gets to find them. But remove certain individuals in your life that no longer encourage you or enlighten you. Go to a different group of people. Go to a different group of situations in your life. Allow somebody to encourage you. I have a group in Orlando I go to, and it's very like enlightening. I go there just to zone, because it's just very peaceful. Peaceful. And every once in a while, as individuals on our soul growth, we have to have a place in our life that is peaceful. Whether we have a place in our home, a place in our own being, a place where we go. And that's true when we're in spiritualism, in this religion. You're actually putting things out into the spirit world constantly. The thoughts build upon themselves. So figuring out what you're thinking, how you're thinking. It takes work, yes it does. It takes a little bit of work to understand what you're doing. But when did healing and the vibration, it was the thought of the healer. When Harry Edwards was healing, he had a major thought of new thought within his vibration. He knew that what he was thinking, what he was putting in motion, was moving through his vibration and into the individual to produce health and well-being. We as individuals have to understand it's what we're putting through ourselves is what causes the healing. If we believe we're going to be sick, then we're going to be sick. If we believe that something is happening, then we're probably going to happen because we have enforced it by thought. But you have these mandalas and affirmations and all this stuff that we can do in our lives and change our thoughts. But how many of us actually sit home and do affirmations and try to change the being within ourselves? Try to change this. You're not curing exactly where you are today. Oh no. You're curing all this stuff that has happened since birth. All this stuff you've tucked away in the small little corners of your being. When you say affirmations, you're not just clearing this energy here. You're actually clearing the energy from your past. You're encouraging it. That's why I do the Ho'oponopono prayer. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And I do that repetitiously in my vibration to erase, to clear, to move things away. And you have to really understand that if you don't do that, it just builds upon itself. You just get a room with no windows inside your being. It's got a lot of cobwebs, a lot of boxes. You have no idea what's in them. Reminds me when I had a friend of mine, she had a storage bin. She had not been in for 20 years. She had paid for it for 20 years. And I said, what's in the boxes? She goes, I don't know. So, that's what we do in our lives. We have all these little boxes that we've stored within our being. And we don't even know what's in them anymore. But they're there. They hold us from doing things in our lives. Hold us from being a person or a situation in life to move forward. That's where the enlightenment comes in. To bring you to a higher level, a higher sense of consciousness. We're trying to find that within ourselves. By doing this religion, by any religion, I'm not a proponent of religion. I feel like we should all just have spiritual centers, a place where people gather, share thoughts, encourage each other, enlighten each other, and encourage the situations around us. That's what we're trying to do. Whether we call it a religion, whether we call it a science, a philosophy, it doesn't matter. It's, are you being encouraged because you're here? I noticed when I was working in nursing for many years, when I would sit at this side of people that were passing the spirit, it is not what they did in their life that was propelling them to where they were going to be on the other side. It's what they were thinking at the end of their life. It's what they were thinking, what they were propelling in their life, their final thoughts of their vibration. That is where they ended up in the spirit world. Spirit world, they may tell you the spirit world is like New York City. It's got those little spinning glass doors, you enter a building. And sometimes some of us jump in the glass door thinking we're getting into the lobby. Somebody runs up behind us and throws us back into the street. Now we have to get ready again. Now we got to get ready to get into that building. On this lifetime, we are getting ourselves ready to enter the spirit world. We're getting ourselves enlightened so that we can move to a different level within the spirit world. While you do all these thoughts in your life, you're actually keeping yourself healthy. You're keeping yourself balanced within this life. You're not going to be majorly good for spirit if you have to do something here, if you aren't physically able to do it. The spirit wants you there. They want you to appear. They want you to be present. But not really present for everyone around you. Present for yourself. Most of us just check out. I laughed the other day. I went into the convenience store and this kid was in there and he must have had 20, he must have had a whole buggy full of bush beer. And he was going to go home and drink it all. Now he wasn't going to be present anymore. He was going to check out. And a lot of us through our lives, we check out. Things have happened. Things happen. Those little boxes in that little room, things happen in our lives. Abuse, different things happen. Divorces, things that have happened, deaths in the family. We store them. Instead of dealing, we store. We put them in that vibration. Instead of understanding that everything moves forward, it doesn't stay still. Spirit is moving you forward in your life, producing people and events in your life that are going to affect you. How it affects you. I always know that it's repetition. It's the connection to things in spirit. Spirit might say, okay, here it is, and then just hit you with it. But it's this journey in your life. What is going on in your life that your guides are trying to get your attention with? Does somebody say something to you? Then all of a sudden it appears again. Then it appears again. It is Spirit's way of saying, pay attention. You're in class. We're all in class. We're all in class. Sometimes we have a bunch of delinquent students around us making a lot of noise, but we're all still in class though, learning. I've been in this most of my life, solution most of my life. But the question is, I'm still learning. I'm still progressing higher. Because when you thought, when Ernest Holmes did this, he was an avid student of the spiritual systems. Not a spiritual religion, but the systems of how it works. And it's when we understand how we work, how we walk with Spirit. I have 10 to 15 guides that follow me. I have a gatekeeper who is with me constantly. I have angelic presence around me. I have them around me. People think they don't attract angels. You attract angels, even if you're bad. They're still around you. They're still connecting to your higher sense of consciousness. They're trying to help you. Angels are guardians sent by God to help you, to connect to you. And then we don't listen. Then we get in situations in our lives. But I had a lady in the hospital when she was dying. She said, you know, I wasn't really a good person. I wasn't good to my kids. But I've always had a thought about situations in our lives that we think that are not too good for us, that it didn't work out well. What if it was never meant for you in the first place? What if you were just traveling in the cab with a few other people that you had to help? Maybe it wasn't yours. Maybe you're there to help them, to encourage them on their journey, not to encourage you. We take everything to heart. What if you took something to heart and you stored it here? It had no meaning to you. It was never supposed to stop you. Spirit is not here on this earth plane to stop you from forward motion. They are not here to stop you. They are here to encourage you, to bring you to a higher level. That's why you're here. My guide Lucerne will tell you that we're all spirit scouts. We've all decided to come to this earth plane, and we're venturing out into the wilderness with our own little machete and our own little thing. But during that journey, people will follow us. People see where we're going. We're venturing out ahead so the rest can follow. You might think, well, oh, nobody's following me. Well, what do you know? There are certain people that have you on a pedestal. That have you on a pedestal, and what you do in this lifetime, they watch you. So it's what you do. Maybe you have grandkids. Maybe you have people that they come over and they look up to you. They look up to your vibrations. And what you do to that little soul, or that individual, or that vibration, you are encouraging them to affect others into the future. So it's how we encourage on our own being, how we treat our animals, how we treat our people, how we treat our situations in our lives. People are watching. Spirit's watching. They're watching you constantly. They don't sleep over there. They have their little night light on in the middle of the night watching you. So do you think you're alone? You're not. Spirit's walking around our house all the time. I had an individual come the other day for reading, and he was sitting in my office. He said, I have an attachment. It's attached to me. And I could see the spirit coming up around him, making faces at me. I'm like, okay, gonna make faces, okay. So then he got a little bit too close. My guy Jeff punched him. And you could see him run out to the porch. Came through the door, run out to the porch. And you could hear him on the porch telling the other spirits on the porch, don't go in there. He'll punch you in the face. He said, is he gone? I said, oh, he's out on the porch complaining, but he might be back if you allow him back. If you allow him back. The attachments and situations in our life because we allow them here. And Don was talking about that the spirits are connected to what's on this earth planet. If you smoke cigarettes, and somebody in the spirit world love tobacco, they love the smell of smoke, you have a whole group of people following you. Every time you blow out smoke, they're all going. Same thing with alcohol. They're there because they like the smell of it. They're there because you have attracted them into that vibration. It's what you attract within your life, what you connect to within your vibration. Allow yourself to find your passion, the passion within your life. We're never too old to find our passion, our connection to a higher sense of consciousness. If you don't like your job, then change it. You don't like someone in your life, explain to them what you don't like about them. Explain to people what you are able to receive within your life. Don't sit and suffer in silence and say, well, you know, they didn't know what I was thinking. Tell them. Be out there and tell them. Because my mother was a spiritualist, and she worked through all these camps all over the United States. And the major thing with that was finding the thoughts, the vibration, the connection to spirit. Through mediumship, through healing, through whatever you do within your own spiritual practice. The 3 E's. Does it educate you? Does it enlighten you? Does it encourage you? That's what you have to ask yourself. And if it doesn't do that, then find something that does encourage you. Maybe you do art. Maybe you do writing. Maybe you do something else. That is your path to enlightenment. Not everyone's going to follow the exact same path. While we all wouldn't have any buildings, we'd all have the same color cars, we'd all pick the same suit out this morning, we'd all be dressed the same, we'd all comb our hair the same. Everything would be the same. Told somebody the other day when Don said I had hair when I was young, here I did. But as I get older, my hair just found a better neighborhood to live in. It's still there. Just found a better neighborhood, that's all. And sometimes we have to find a better neighborhood to be in. A better connection to a higher sense. Because when you work with spirit, they will work with you. They don't leave you to fend for yourself. They're constantly with you, following you on the path and encouraging you. and you watch what propels itself in your life, what connects to you. When Ernest Holmes did this, and he did the Christian Science and went into unity, but it was more of a mediumistic, because you have to tell that Atkinson, some of the forerunners in spiritualism, were actually with New Thought. We're all a bunch of Catholics, Methodists, Quakers, and New Thought, all mixed into one. They threw us all in the basket. We're all here. Because this religion is a part of every religion, not just one. We don't have the little sign on our door that says we are it. We are a conglomerate of all the religions and a balance of each. Because we say our principles, we say these things we do in church. We don't ask you to say, oh my God, you better believe that, or we're going to come get you. You believe how you believe. What radiates to you with that? I always encourage people to read the principles. Read one at a time. Figure out what it means to you. What does infinite spirit mean to you? What does the golden rule mean to you? What does different things mean to you? So that when you read the principles, you can take them to heart. You can look at them. But you can forge your own path. You're a scout. Go out in the wilderness. Forge your path for you. Because the information you bring back to the spirit world is not going to be the information that you got out of something from someone else. Your people on the other side are going to want to know what you experienced. What happened to you? What happened to your vibration? We all have things happen in our lives. Let it go. Let it be. If it's not going to enlighten and encourage you, let it be. Because somebody told me the other day, oh, your parents were so mean to you, so terrible to you, so mean to you. They're past. I can't go mess with them anymore. They are where they are. I have to learn to say, okay, it happened. Now where do I go from here? Where do I manage from here? I don't care if you've gone through a really bad divorce, or you're still going through a bad divorce. Let it be. Maybe you're just in that situation to get that individual where they need to be. My mother said you don't want them to move. You don't want to kill them. You just want them to win the lottery and move away. You just want them to be away. And that's what we have to realize in our lives. Things that we've stored in that little storage locker, off in the distance. Do you know what's in your spiritual storage locker? Do you know what's in there? Have you opened the boxes lately? Have you at least put the thing, wrote on the side of the box what it is? And if you haven't, it means you don't need it. If you haven't looked at it for a while, you don't need it. Let it go. Move on to something else. Ask your guides. Ask people in spirit. They'll help you. They'll direct people and events in your life to place you with new people, new energy to enlighten you. And I always want people to be here at Casadega because it's a spiritual connection. Everybody says, oh my God, you know, there's energy here. I don't feel that energy. I only feel the energy that I propel into the universe. I only propel what I feel is best for me. I don't listen to the negativity and stuff. Is that going to encourage and enlighten me? No. Is that going to educate me? Yeah. Educate me to stay away from a few people. But it will not educate me in where I need to be. So you just wander through the camp and feel the vibration of energy. Because it's all psychometry with the vibration. It's what's happened in this hall for close to well over 100 years. What's happened in different parks here where they used to hold services and message services. And when you walk through them, you can still feel the elders, the people that came before us, still walking in the field. That's what I look at. When I walk in a place, I'm looking for what energy has propelled itself to the place. And if the energy works for you, you'll feel extremely positive there. You'll feel extremely gifted there. If it doesn't work for you, Spirit will try to get you away from that position. Don't try to push your way in the door. If it doesn't work for you, move on to some other place. But get your thoughts. Figure out what you're thinking, what you put there. I have so many people say, oh my God, I have entities. They're all over me. They're, oh, really? You need to have a come to Jesus moment with your guides. You need to have a sit down moment. I posted something on my Facebook the other day that said, if I'm talking to myself, don't worry about it. I'm just self-employed and I'm having a company meeting. So the question with you is sometimes you have to have a company meeting. You have to sit down and say, what are you guys thinking? Or what am I thinking? And then allow them to move you forward. Because that is what life's all about, this progression into a higher sense of consciousness. It is. Because we leave this earth plane, we're not going to take anything with us except for our consciousness on our journey. And there are going to be people there that are going to greet us, that have been watching us for years, trying to encourage us. You don't want everybody in the group come up and go, yes, you didn't listen to us, did you? All right, how'd that work for you? So sometimes we just have to sit quietly, encourage ourselves. But remember, when you go forth this week, just remember the 3 E's. Is it going to educate, encourage, or enlighten? If it does that for you, that is your path. If it doesn't, move on to a different path. And I want to thank you